Hello, everyone, and I hope everyone's been doing well. So, first off, let me warn people that if you don't like things that are a little too personal, people putting out on their YouTube channel, you can stop the video here and move on. And if you don't have a problem with that, then please continue to watch on. So, I wasn't aware that May was actually mental health awareness month until this awesome video by Cheddar Kung Pao of the YouTube guitar community, where he finally got the courage to finally open up and discuss his issues. And again, you deserve a big clap and other well wishes for finally coming out and revealing your mental issue that has been plaguing your life for a long time, Cheddar. And you have my you already had a lot of respect from me to begin with, but in you doing this video, I have to say you have a lot more respect from me for doing so, because I really do feel people need to actually really be open about this. So again, folks, if you haven't already subscribed to Cheddar, there's his YouTube channel. Just a quick search using his name, you can pull it up. Please go give him a subscription. We really should be supporting each other in the community, no matter your richness level, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're mentally stable, whether you're a little mentally unstable. We really need to do that, and we need to actually understand that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter color, skin, age, country where we're born from and where we are, religious beliefs or whatnot. We are human beings. We all have skin, we all have blood, we all need air to breathe, and so forth. So in that sense, I'm encouraging everyone to be bigger in that regard. And that said, some people don't like that people put more kind of personal things out there, but because Cheddar did this, and I fully do want to support what he has done and further encourage people to open up about their medical issues, whether they be physical or mental. To me, nothing is worse than hiding something you may have or suffer from and being afraid of being alienated because of it. And it's something that I have seen on the internet since I've been online since '96. Something I've seen in daily life. Just how many people are being mistreated because of something that might not be out of their control to have happen to them, or otherwise. Again, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We should all have a certain level of respect for each other and treat everyone accordingly. That said, I'll open up a bit more even though I have made it known to some parties of stuff that I have going on. In my case, I am disabled, though, yes, I am able bodied and I can form thoughts right. Uh, though I do have the weird kind of slant here on this side. But again, I'll cover that briefly. So, again, the point is that, as I was kind of alluding to, you can look perfectly normal and still have mental issues below the surface. You can act properly and act normal and still have mental issues below the surface, or even appear on camera and, you know, maybe you actually are not able to walk. Maybe you're paralyzed. Maybe you're missing a limb. These are all things that, can be not seen until maybe certain things are revealed. I know there was a fellow YouTuber I knew back in the day who actually got blackmailed because he went to a guitar show in Dallas and he actually revealed when he was at this show, he actually showed his disabilities and physical problems. And somebody was sick enough out there to actually use that and try to blackmail the person into coming clean about it and being open about it, or else he was going to expose footage and photos that he had taken of the individual. And I mean, that's just really messed up. So, anyways, about my stuff. In my case, at a young age, I was diagnosed with some form of dyslexia. So I had that in grade school. So that's why sometimes when I type stuff, it's because I have dyslexia mildly. And also, I find with that, if I don't use words enough, sometimes I definitely will misspell certain words because of that. Into my teens, I have had the honor, well, not honor, but I've had, that's right, 3 concussions. One was back when I was 14 because I was riding my bike. A friend called me from across the road. I went across the road. Some Asian tourists were touring up around where I grew up. Didn't know to avoid me, and instead of keeping going straight or turning away from me as I crossed, they turned into me. So I was hit while riding my bike. It was a Raleigh 10 speed, which, if you know, back in the early 80s, those things were built like a tank. And I was hit with enough of an impact that it actually made the frame go from straight like this. It actually bent probably about a good 20 degrees. So I sustained a large laceration to my knee, broken nose, and a grade A concussion in that. Then a year and a bit later, I sustained another grade A concussion. That was brought on because I was playing softball and I was racing to pick up a ball that was rolling along the ground, not paying attention to what was in front of me, and I ran headfirst into a tree. So it was again back-to-back concussions, which was again graded as another grade A. And then my last concussion was actually my last year of high school, which in phys ed we had played kick or throw dodgeball. I went in diving for the ball, and the person coming in for the ball on the other side went for a kick, and sure enough, boom, and I got nailed with grade C concussion. So I very much take it personal and serious when anybody says about a possible concussion or some type of injury that could be related to a concussion. And, I really do emphasize that, people really need to be careful when you sustain head injuries that are around a concussion, because it could be a very mild thing, or it could be something to the point where it's like some NFL and NHL stars have experienced with concussions, where such as former NHL player Chris Pronger, who was known as a hard-hitting defenseman. In the last season he played in the NHL, which was, he was in his, I think he was 34. He went in for a check on somebody, and the person ducked the right way and actually avoided the check, and his head made a trauma on the boards and the glass, and he wasn't right after that. He ended up pretty much for the next 5 years recovering from that dramatic of a concussion. And it was also a very very hard time for him, because in the first 3 years he had massive migraine headaches. He was always dizzy, disorientated, so he couldn't live a normal life, and he couldn't enjoy the life of his childhood, his kids' early childhood, because he couldn't play with them because of being so dizzy and whatnot. And it wasn't until around when he was 38 or 39 that, through whatever various medical techniques or medicines or whatnot, he was finally able to be functional again, and he went back into a management role of some level with an NHL team then. So concussions are very serious. With that said, in mentioning concussions, as I have, concussions can also contribute to mental diseases or mental disorders, such as anxiety and depression. I do have low-level anxiety and depression that I was diagnosed with back in December 2002. And also at the same time, I had always wondered why I had a hard time to work, or I had a hard time to concentrate in school. So I always thought there was something up with that, and I'm not sure if it was something that was existent in grade school, but definitely around the time that I got the concussions, I definitely think if it was hidden there, it definitely probably brought it to the forefront. So in 2002, as well as being diagnosed with low-level anxiety and depression, I also was diagnosed as being ADD inattentive type. So it explained why I had such a hard time to keep work when I was in my 20s. And it was very frustrating to you see all these other people around you. Here they are working. They got cars, they got this and that, and here you are, you're not able to work, and you're struggling just to make ends meet. And it all factors into all that. So once I got those things diagnosed, and then unfortunately back in 2000 I also buggered up my back on a mortar splitting, mortar faceting for buildings, a two-man job. I was told to do it by myself, and the place that I was doing it at as a temp job did not give me any back support. So I went to the job, did it. This was August 30th, 2000. Went, actually did the job, did 8 skids in 7.5 hours, came home, went to bed, fell asleep, and slept for 12 hours. And when I woke up, I was numb from here down. That took almost 2 months to go away, and the initial diagnosis was that I had did muscle and nerve damage to my lower right hand back. And today I still have some arthritic problems. Oh, and then you have also the luxury of morbid obesity. Yay! Again, 2 times in my life I've been at 400 or just around it. And in those instances, that was caused by depression. And in the latter time I had a large amount of weight, was because I was living in a really crappy situation in a boarding house that I wasn't allowed to keep food storage because of the owner being paranoid that I was taking their food, so I couldn't eat properly, a lot of takeout, and then also still a lot of depression, which again, people have wondered why this side of my mouth actually kind of drops a little bit. It's because that was probably about 2004, I think, when it occurred. I'd gone up in the weight, and the one morning I woke up and I noticed my face was dropping, dropping a little bit, and I was saying to myself, well, that doesn't seem right. So I just paid no attention to it. Well, initially didn't pay any attention to it and just thought, well, maybe it'll go away. And so the next day when I woke up and it was worse, that's when I knew to rush to the emergency and get it looked at. And it was determined that I probably had a case of Bell's palsy, such as famous former WWE announcer Jim Ross had. Usually when you get Bell's palsy, it's usually because you've had a stroke. So it is very possible that back then I could actually have a stroke in my sleep, which brought on the Bell's palsy. So I've had multiple little things here and there over the years that have contributed to my own physical and mental issues / problems. But at the end of the day, it's simply this, and that's no matter how you are physically, no matter how you are with a physical problem or a mental problem, the reality is you have to be a responsible individual and a responsible human being. And this is something that, again, I've seen it a lot on YouTube in the guitar community. I've seen it a lot outside of the guitar community in other different genres, where there are people that do have these mental disorders or physical issues who use them actually as a crutch and for a as their validation for attacking other people. And to me, I think that is the biggest problem of all, is people that use it as a crutch for excuses to do bad things um, when they shouldn't be, or in the case of they say like, well, I got, you know, I don't have this, I'm not this way, I don't need treatment. And it's like, you know, in those instances, those are usually the worst cases, and usually when you do need treatment is when you are actually going and attacking other people, maybe even attacking and physically and verbally abusing people that you're with. It occurs. And, you know, to me, people that have physical and mental issues that go up and above what they are suffering from to do things to help others, and lead a more positive thing in life. You know, they deserve all the appreciation, rewards, you know, good things to happen to them in life. Just giving what I've said here, I'll further add in, you know, I'd always lived with my mom, and it was partially because of being financially easier on both of us, but also to be around to help her. And again, the last 7 years were very, very hard on me, and because of the things that I had going on to begin with, and I also, you know, tried my best to go with what I had going on to care for my mom who had kidney failure and had to go to dialysis. So I did my best with even my own stuff going on to try to help her until she had passed away last September. So some folks that do know that and maybe do know some of the underlying things that I just mentioned now, you know, understand, you know, how much of a big thing it is, and, you know, and are respectful to me and think of me respectfully because of that, you know. And again, I just want to take, you know, a moment here as well to thank those individuals as well too that have recognized that and understood and, you know, respected me and supported me over the years for being such. You know, again, we need to support each other, and we need to help, especially the people that have physical and mental needs that we can help. We need to be able to help those individuals. Simple as that. The ones that are beyond that, you know, we can only do so much for. And, you know, unfortunately, certain countries are very ignorant to helping those individuals, whereas other countries are very supportive and have no problem helping those individuals to get better. So, I've already been talking for 23 minutes here. Again, maybe some people don't want to know or didn't want to understand deeply what I had to say or what I have going on, but this is it. And lastly here, I will close this video. I will close this off and bring up through OBS. Though I am in Canada, Cheddar is in the US, and I know a lot of you fellow YouTubers are in the US, and I would like to take this instance to put up here on the screen. If you are suffering from anxiety and depression, don't be embarrassed by it, or any other mental issues. If you suspect it and you have the power to do something about it, do it. Simple as that. Don't make any excuses. go get help. Or go see if they can give you help. You deserve to have a happy existence. And when you can get help, whether it's medical help from medication or therapy or counseling, you need to take it upon yourself, and more so if you are with somebody or have kids that might be affected by it, you need to take it upon yourself to be a responsible human being and get help for it so that you don't hurt others around you. So again, I am leaving up here on the screen for the last minute here or so the ADAA, Anxiety and Depression Association of America's website for you to go to if you feel that you have anxiety or depression. Contact them for help and see if they can help you. If you feel like you have any other mental conditions, don't be afraid to go find a local psychologist or someone. Use Google. Google is your friend. And find a local organization or a local medical facility that can help you in what you have going on mentally. So again, thank you to everyone who has actually stuck through this long of the video to hear what I had to say. Again, I'm hoping that it is a positive thing. I'm hoping that I am encouraging others to not be afraid to come out and make things aware, because again, at the end of the day, when you allow somebody to understand what you have going on mentally or physically or whatnot, it allows that person to understand you better and properly treat you accordingly. So if there's something that you say is weird or act weird, they're not going to overreact to it and maybe be offended by something if it's if you say something in that manner. But that said, if you do something enough that is very negative or very toxic, still don't expect people to not react negatively and move away from you in that instance. With that said, hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is safe. Hope everyone is well physically and mentally right now with everything that is going on. And again, take care. Hope you have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and whatever time you are watching this video. Bye for now, folks.